why you should not overlook this crypto indicator and why this crypto indicator is still looking bullish right now. What I am talking about is Bitcoin. It is the single most important driver of this crypto markets. If Bitcoin pumps, you can expect the altcoins to be following. And very similarly, if Bitcoin dumps, you can expect the altcoins to be dumping as well. We're going to be taking a look into some Bitcoin charts, how that could affect your altcoins, and the altcoins we're going to be talking about in this video. Later in this video is going to be about TARS AI, Zebec Network, ZBCN, and we're going to be talking about WCT token, which is WalletConnect token. Later in this video, what are their price targets? What are their current uh, setups that you should be paying attention to? We're also going to be diving into some crypto news that would affect your altcoins because it affects Bitcoin. And let's just get right into this video here, okay? So, first piece of news that we're going to be talking about and that I'm going to be reacting to is this says Z Crypto, after successfully predicting an all-time high for Bitcoin, the crypto timing model points to rally in November. I think we're gonna have a earlier rally than November. I mean, that's still 5 months away. I think we're at a Bitcoin setup that could be moving sometime soon, possibly in early July. I'm gonna be showing you guys why that is in the charts. And when that does move, the altcoins are expected to follow. Let's go ahead and go to the next piece of news here, which is by Cointelegraph. Is Bitcoin price going to crash again? Well, I mean, I think whenever I read headlines like this, I would really want to know more specifics, right? I would like to know, without getting into details, what is the time frame they're talking about, and by how much is a crash? You have to define that, right? Is it going to crash more than 10%? I mean, I don't think it's likely right now. Okay, and I will show you guys why I don't think we're going to be crashing more than 10%. I think we have quite a bit of moving averages that are coming up to Bitcoin as support. Okay, so that is why. But I think it needs to be more specific, and without getting into the details, that's my reaction. If you guys want to read more of this news, it is on TradingView. And if you guys don't have TradingView, I would highly encourage you guys to get TradingView and learn technical analysis and charts so you can actually see this markets much more clearly for yourself. I have been using TradingView for the past over 5 years, and I would not have been able to learn technical analysis without it. Also, if you guys do want to learn technical analysis and charts and see this market much more clearly for yourself, you guys do want to subscribe and like this channel. Let me know if you guys want to see any tokens in the comment section below. I will choose one request to do for you guys every day. Also, I also have an affiliate link for TradingView in the description section below. If you guys sign up using my link below, it supports my channel. I will earn a commission. Let's go ahead and go to the next piece of news here. Also by Cointelegraph, how to read Bitcoin candlesticks. No experience needed. Yeah, I really don't think you need too much experience in reading Bitcoin candlesticks because there are a couple of very simple but effective indicators I pay attention to. My perspective is it doesn't matter what indicators you use as long as you are good with it. Okay, you could use some really advanced indicator, but you suck at reading it. Well, then I think the accuracy is gonna suffer, right? But if you read, if you just follow some simple but effective indicators, which I will also show you right now, that could highly increase the accuracy. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. Cointelegraph, 30 Bitcoin price top indicators hint at 230K bull run market peak. I would really want to know these indicators. But what my indicators are showing currently is at about 145K. Well, who knows what will happen at 145K when it actually reaches that target. My approach is to rechart what's going on in that consolidation pattern and see if it's going to be pulling back or continuing upwards. And why this affects your Bitcoin? Well, I mean your altcoins, because Bitcoin is the driver. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. This is by Crypto Potato. Bitcoin price unfazed by Iran's retaliation attack against Israel. Hype rockets 8% weekend watch. Now, if you guys want to see hype, do let me know in the comment section below. I'll be glad to do a TA on that. But Bitcoin did dip on the day where I saw the news that Israel was gonna attack Iran. That was the day when Bitcoin went from about 107K to almost 102K. It was a pretty scary dip, not gonna lie, but I think we have kind of rebounded since, and we are still in bullish consolidation. Now let's get to a more favorite part of this video. It's gonna be about charts. First of all, S&P 500 highly correlated with Bitcoin, and why I should be paying attention to the bigger markets first, because those are going to be the drivers. When money flows into the bigger markets, it then will flow into the smaller markets like your altcoins. ES1 exclamation mark. Okay, we are at a daily moving average as supports. Talked about this rising wedge pattern that looked like it could have broke out, but it did not. Okay, there was bearish divergence, which is an indicator that you can read on the RSI, which is the relative strength index. Very effective, very simple indicator. Okay, breakdown target of this indicator is about 57.50. Just right above that, we have quite a bit of support between where it is now and the breakdown target. So I would expect a bounce at each level of these supports, and let's see which of these supports will actually be the bounce that gives it a higher high. Let's take a look into Bitcoin. Very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin right now, even after that dip, because since that dip, okay, it has touched down on the daily 50 SMA for the first time since it has broke above it. So very important, because when you usually see price action touch down on a support for the first time, it usually is a strong support. Of course, there are exceptions, like the daily 21 SMA that did not really carry the price higher. I don't usually see that, just personal observation and opinion. Of course, because none of what I'm saying here is financial advice, purely my opinions only. You got to do your own due diligence still, right? It's still a very risky market. Now, daily 50 SMA, this could still be a very strong support here. First time on it, okay? And we are still consolidating within this symmetrical triangle pattern. If this pattern usually breaks in the direction that precedes it, okay, which is in this case is going to be an upwards direction, okay, and this pattern could run until about early July if it was to run to the end of it, okay. So very important to be seeing what's going to be happening from this pattern here. Now, if it does break to the upside, price target, if it breaks out by this point, it's going to give Bitcoin a price target of about 122K here, okay? And that basically takes Bitcoin out of this bigger cup and handle pattern that has been consolidating, okay, for basically the entirety of this year so far. That price target is at about 145K, okay? So that is basically what I'm looking at. If you're carrying altcoins, you definitely want to be rooting for Bitcoin here. Let's go ahead and dive into we're not going to do Ethereum today. Let's take a look into WCT token, see what's going on in this market, okay? Now, WCT token, this is the daily time frame chart, okay? It had a huge rise not too long ago, It went all the way up to about $1.40 before crashing all the way down here to about 40 cents right now. Okay. This is not uncommon to see, especially in some of these lower ranking, lower market cap altcoins. Last time I checked, this market cap was about $70 million, which is pretty small. So if you guys get into these positions, just know what you're getting yourself into. I mean, because it could definitely go down 30-50% in a matter of days. Okay. And what I'm seeing here is a falling wedge pattern. Okay, falling wedge pattern. Price target is going to be about 65 cents. Now, price targets are estimates only. It could be more, it could be less. There could be a lot of things that happen between where the price action is now and a potential breakout. There could be fake outs, there could be a breakdown. Nothing in this market is a given, so learn how to risk manage, okay? And just take into consideration of those scenarios that could happen and be prepared to know what to do, okay? Now, weekly time frame, very important, because if this weekly time frame can still close above about 37 cents, okay, above 37 cents or 38 cents, then it still technically has a higher low, right? And in an uptrend, when you have a higher low, if you can hold a higher low, then the next logical move is a higher high. Let's go ahead and go to Zebec network, see what has gone on in this market. Okay, still consolidating above that price target we've talked about, which was this cup and handle pattern, which is one of those patterns you will also commonly see in this market if you guys learn how to chart, right? This price target was at about 0.38 cents. Okay, still consolidating above that. Let's take a look into a lower time frame, see if we can get any clues on what could be happening. Daily time frame, also falling wedge pattern, okay? And the price target out of this pattern is going to be about 0.58 cents if it breaks out by this point, okay? Now, if you guys want to continue seeing Zebec Network, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I will bring you guys more of these updates if enough of you guys want to see it. Let's go ahead and go to TARS AI, see what has happened in this market. Now, I want to note that there was a falling wedge I mentioned. It looked like it was gonna, it broke out, but it did not go anywhere towards its target, its price target. So that's one of the scenarios that could happen. So, and then it broke out. It didn't really go that far before breaking back into the pattern, invalidating that initial falling wedge pattern. So what I do is I invalidate that pattern and I rechart. And in this case, we're seeing a bigger falling wedge pattern. Now, bigger falling wedge pattern here is going to be more clear on a 4-hour time frame, because 3 candlesticks makes a validated trend line. Okay, it doesn't have to be super exact, in my opinion. Now, 4-hour time frame, we have a price target of about 16 cents for TARS AI if it breaks out by that point. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit and see if we can get any clarity on what could be happening. Okay, so this is a relatively new coin, not much data. Okay, weekly time frame, if you actually close like that on the weekly time frame, that's not going to be looking good for me on this time frame, because you're losing that higher low, which is that uptrend trajectory, and that tells me there could be more downside. However, on this monthly time frame, there could still be a higher low if we close this monthly time frame. Well, anywhere really. You could just reason for yourself, right? Because this would be the first low, so it could also be anywhere. So that makes it a little bit more of a wild guess. Okay. So very important to be charting this on a lower time frame. I am not in this coin right now, but I'm open to taking any scalp positions. Probably after the Fed meeting is done, because I don't want to over leverage, especially on smaller coins right now, because when the Fed meeting is going on, there could be a lot more volatility. Now, this is basically what I'm seeing for this market so far. Make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, letting me know if you guys want to see any other coins in this market. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend.